So this is video one of several videos. We're going to do some videos of practical techniques, and or we'll say like a practical approach to fighting. So with that, with Chiao or with Chang Tai we have ranges, or we said ranges of fighting, but we also have different elements of what we're doing. So that's kicking, striking, throwing, controlling. That can be controlling with the person standing up or controlling with the person on the ground. And we're going to look at some certain setups, and we're going to do 2 or 3 throws. And we'll do several videos like this over these. So, this is out the front. So we're going to start with an offensive action, and that is we're going to use a kick to or get us close or to kind of jam this guy. And I'm going to have my hands up in some way. I don't really need to take on a certain look, right? I don't need to look like I'm fixing to box you. I don't need to look like I'm fixing to attack you with Kung Fu. I just need to be in somewhat looking unthreatening, but also at the same time being prepared to execute. So I'm going to go for a kick to his lower leg. Right? And as he kicks me in my leg, just here, right? You don't have to be fancy with it, but try to kick it and control it. Right? I did, that's right. I can kick it and control it. A lot of times on the street, like somebody wants to start shit with you, they're going to try to keep getting closer to you so they can hit you. And the core of stuff on the street is going to be striking, meaning kicking is kind of secondary. You can use that to your advantage if you're somewhat fluent with kicking, right? He goes to hit me with, or he goes to punch me, and I should be able to use my leg to kind of keep him away or keep him at a distance. Whether I kick, I'm going to kick somewhere in here, anywhere from the shin bone, the thigh, the hip, or even in this part of his lower abdomen. Okay? So I'm going to kind of move like I'm going to come in on him, and primarily we're using the kick like this, so you can say a front kick, and then like a cross kick. And look, I'm not even trying to turn this foot all the way out to like this, but just here, in the same thing. I'm not going to do a side kick like this, but I am going to turn my toes in this direction. So if I were to travel to this side, it's easier for me. But I don't want to turn all the way over. It's too easy for Jonathan to catch my leg and to come up my backside, which I don't want. But I can still leave my torso facing to the front and kick here. So if you think this way, this way, this way, and point with the toe, right? He comes at me, and you can use the toe or the ball of the foot like a punch. Right? So I don't really care which of those kicks he does. I'm just going to try to role play out the scenario. I'm going to try to move in on him, and he's going to try to jam me with a kick. He wants to do it before I get too close, and he has to over chamber his leg, right? So he comes in at me. I want to be able to get that leg up freely so I don't have to lean backwards. Right? So I come in on him. Yeah. Right? He comes in at me. Comes in at me. Your legs, you want to think like this. They need to be free flowing. Side kicks to me, like if you think like this, and this is turned like this, think about the head of your femur. And the more I lift this, I guarantee you this hurts. Right? He can feel, even if it doesn't hurt, he can feel the additional pressure in here. Now think the higher you raise this leg up, now he's not that flexible. But even if he was, he's still going to rotate this joint like this. And he's going to cause a lot of pain. There's a lot of people that do martial arts that have been doing it for years. They have hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder replacements, elbow replacements from overdoing the movements. I don't need to do a side kick up here. I don't need to do that. And again, this is so much more useful for me than me turning my whole body over. Don't care if you disagree with me. Plenty of people will if you watch that. That's wrong. Side kick is an excellent move. It is a good move as long as you're, as long as you're staying down here, right? Like, so if he lifts up my leg. Look, if you're doing it here, this is right at the point where it's going to start causing additional, we'll say, pressure and impinge this joint, right? So anywhere from down in here is great for a side kick. I don't want to do the side kick all the time. Now, if I'm like, move on just a little bit this way. I'm going to use a kick like this, right? Because I'm trying to get away from him. But if it's something where I'm trying to kick, but I'm close enough for him to kind of get a hold of me, I really don't like to use the side kick because I don't want him to come on my backside. You can say the same thing. It's easy to catch a front kick, but I can still put my weight down as long as I'm still upright. So again, this stuff is, these videos are gonna, they're more me talking about a strategy, and we're gonna do some techniques and tactics. So just a few of these videos, if you're new to martial arts or curious at how I apply stuff, then I hope you watch the videos. So if we look at striking, right, we utilize in Chiao and in Chang Tai Chi, we use straight punches, we use uppercuts, we use hooks, we use hammer fist, we use back fist, we use all of the core punches that pretty much any other system would do. And we should be able to fluidly strike with those actions. A lot of the stuff that I'm trying to do is a lot of times I wanted to strike at him to get an attachment, right? Or I strike at him to put him on defense so that I can keep trying to move forward. That doesn't always work out, meaning he may be close enough and he starts throwing punches at you, and you need to be able to deal with these actions. Now, you can deal with the action by trying to do a strike from a strike, right? Because this punch, I do something, right? I block the punching arm and I hit him to that effect, right? Or he does it and I parry and I move the arm to the side and then I attack or something like that. All of that's doable. There's nothing wrong with, let's see how to say that. I don't have to make everything about kickboxing, right? I don't have to, and at the same time, I don't have to make everything about grappling or wrestling, but it's trying to find that nice blend so that you're at least competent in all of those different categories. And, you know, in the mixed martial arts studio, they should be trying to do that. Balance the person all out so that they're fluent in these different pieces. And we try to do the same thing in Chiao or in Chang Tai Chi. So we're going to use a low kick to get us close. I'm going to throw in a hammer fist like this. And I like to use a hammer fist. You can use a back fist. You can use a straight punch. But I want it to be something where it's easy enough for him to try to counter it by blocking it. Or if he moves, it gives me an opportunity to execute something else. Like, say I go to do this hammer fist and he moves back. The block, just get out of the way. I want to be able to think like that, right? The movement has intention. I want to hit him, but I'm not just putting my full thought to that. Meaning, if I do this and he blocks it, great, I'm going to catch it. But if I do this and he moves, I'm going to keep trying to move myself and hit him. Don't just rely on that one action. If you do that, you're going to kind of, you kind of get your brain to overly focus on that, and then when it doesn't potentially pan out like you want, then your brain has to try to process and get something else going, but just think it's going to flow to something else. So again, I got my kick and my hammer fist, and he blocked it. I'm going to seize this arm as I step in, and now I'm going to bring this leg through, and I'm going to do cut. And as I do, I'm going to disengage, the hand's going to go here, this leg is going to go behind his, and I'm going to dump him. Right? So if he does it to me, so like 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Does it to me. 3, 4. So when I do this front cut, it's not about me lifting my leg. It's about me like, if this was my hip, I want my whole body to move as a unit. Don't make it about your legs. I see too many people that do this, and then they do this stuff. And they're like, oh, why isn't it, why am I not being able to break his structure, right? Or make him where he's not stable. When you get this connection, you need to think that both of these things are moving together, right? Like this, they're moving together. Keep your hands up. He wants to really think too. Look, see how I've got my knee behind his knee? I really want that type of connection. Now look, if you're practicing with somebody and you want to do these and you don't have mats to work with or something like that for the day, he does the same thing. And look, you keep doing it. Look, just push back on his elbow, keep pushing. Come on. Is that it? That's all you got? Yeah. So look, push back on this and it'll help you to balance yourself. But you can do that with pretty much all the throws or somewhere where you can put your push against something or pull against something to kind of stabilize you. You kind of think too, those are kind of dissolving or neutralizing techniques. So let's look at the piece to the ground. And we're going to take it and make it into a pin. So I kick him, I get this bridge, I grab, I step myself in, and as this knee goes behind his knee, this hand is going to go to his chest. And look, I'm going to pin him. I've got his arm right here, and look, I can take this weight and drive it into him like this, or I can switch and put this into his neck this way and put him under a lot of pressure. I've got his arm. You can say to yourself, well, you could easily just fall back and put him in an arm bar. I can. That's true, but I don't want to necessarily do that on the screen. Again, kick, strike, I've got it right, and then I dump him. Move, take lift. Who am I going to? I don't have a need to do this. If his buddy is standing up, or he sees this, or even some, let's say, bystander, right, and they think I'm the aggressor when this guy was the one that was initiating to attack me, and then they come up and boot kick me in the head. I'm not saying that this type of movement doesn't work, and I could be in a better position than what I am, I could be closer to him, what have you, but anyway, to me, it's much cleaner to initiate, and look, when I do this, I'm going to try to bust him in the ribs, or again, his head, or come back, and look, you can work this arm. If he pulls it free, he tries to pull it away from me, let him. It just helps me to pin him and control him more. And look, I want to keep my weight back here. I don't want to be leaning forward like this. And then from here, you can rain punches down on him if you want, all kinds of stuff. Just basic practical stuff. Now look at it like this. Say, he goes to, we're doing the same thing, but I didn't, he's talking shit. I initiated with a kick to get me close or to keep him from advancing. I threw up my strike to get a hold or to hit him to get my throw off, right? I can do the same finishing aspect by him. He throws the punch at me. I should be able, if I've got the ability to seize this thing, which I recommend you practice this a lot, but he throws it, I seize it, I do the same thing. I just pin him. This works great against a straight punch. It's not going to work against a round punch, the way that I'm executing it. Now, He could do it from the, I'm on his inside, and he throws the punch to this side, right? I'm over here on this side. And I'm going to still try to do the same move. So I'm going to shove my hand forward and way up here, because more than likely he's going to try to pull it away. Yeah, he tries to pull it away. I can't stay here or I'll lose it. All right, so this comes in. Out of that book, sorry about that. Just a good shot. But I want to step through and do my cut. All right, so here, and the same thing. I'm back here in the same spot again. And again, bust him in the ear, hit him in the neck if you feel something, but I want this level of mobility. I want to be able to get up and move. That doesn't mean the grappling is not good stuff or it doesn't work. It's just, that's not what I do. It doesn't mean that there are grappling maneuvers that we practice on the ground and all those kind of things. And some of the guys out there really put a lot of effort into that and do squat Chiao. My mobility in the throw is kind of more my line of strategy. So let's look at another one. So he throws a hook punch this time. And look, I can block like this, or he throws the punch, I can block here, right? There's all kind of things that I could do. We go back to our Tai Chi, he throws the punch, and I can block with fan through the back, easy enough. Or I can use fair lady. So we're going to use the same, we're going to do outer leg hooking, we're going to do a setup, we're going to try to throw a strike to bait him, to get our control, to get the throw, to get a pin. And then look at it also the other way. So I'm here, and I'm going to throw my kick at him. So straight kick off the lead, and look, I'm going to throw my punch. He blocked to this side to push it out, that's fine. Once he's here, it's easy enough, you can just come here and do the move. Or I can go underneath. Right? I did this, I threw the punch, he blocks to this side, that's fine. And then wide can go this way. I like the kind of pull down though myself. So here, think like this, right? Now get me on the inside, I've got his arm. Now, if when I throw the punch, he blocks, see how to say that? He blocks to the inside like this, right? And saying it's easy enough to get the same control. So like this. So here, I do this strike, and then look, as he does this, just kind of push down and get it. And then look, my leg is right here. This hand, right here, and I've got control of this in the hook. It does it to me. Wrap me up first. Oh, okay. It's like I gotta keep the right range. And look, I'm on this side. Sorry. I don't want to get like this. You're doing this, and you trap your own leg. There's not enough room for me. Yeah, maybe I could get it off, but it's just really tight versus if I'm here. Two, if I'm out here, I can easily, if I pick it up and he sinks like he's got good, and then I just hook the other one. Yeah. Yep, you got it. Again. Keep your hands up. We try it on the mats, right? I do my kick, and I try to throw my punch. He blocks it. I'm just going to wipe it. Boom. And pin. And look, don't put yourself too far forward. He'll try to roll you over this way. You don't want that to happen. I want to keep back here. So if he puts pressure on me to roll me that way, I just put the pressure into my knee, and then the more he pushes, the more pressure he puts on his own body. He's on him in the dive. Do it again. Here, pull, push, drop. one. Here, kick, here, grab, see, stop, strike. If I do this if I want to do it as a grappling maneuver, so again, nothing wrong with that, and in the right scenario, it's neat, right? Here, if I hook, you just go with him, right? You follow with him. I'm in a bad spot. I should kind of have me more because they're in the forward bar. And, but anyway, you get the point. To me, if you're grappling to the ground, you should be able to do the throw and end in a position. Not do the throw, then have to scramble to get in a position on the ground. If I can throw the person in such a way, like this is, we'll say you down pull it, right? I've got him here, we're in here, and I roll him through. I should be able to like put myself in a position. I won't express in any way that I'm a grappling instructor, like that kind of grappling. Now, there's some guys out there that are really great at it. But what I will say is, if you want to, in my opinion, take that middle component out, meaning I get control of him when I go to throw him. And if I throw him, I should be able to move with that and end up getting myself in a position on the ground as I do it. We'll do one more, right? And so again, I'm going to kick, I'm going to throw up a strike, and then from here, I'm going to try to seize his wrist and his shoulder this way, and I want to drive in. So if you think of your single whip, right here like this. It's like I'm here. Right, from here, I'm going to scoop this leg up. So here, I kick, I strike, I control, I lift. Listen to me. Keep your hands up. Kick, strike, control, lift. Listen to me. Do it on the mat. Right? Same thing. I kick, strike, I control, and as I sweep him, I'm going to control this arm or this elbow or both. Meaning, I scoop him up and look, bam! I want to drive this into the ground. If I was on the asphalt out there, the concrete, I just smash his elbow into it. Very painful. Or I'll break his wrist, or both. I can control him from here. If he wants to turn over toward me, ow! Right? So at the same time, I'm going to pin him with it. I do the same move, kick, strike, scoop him up, and I pin him. The same thing. And look, I'll use this pressure across. If he wants to grab my leg, he can. But I'll try to break this, or I'll shove this in here. Easy enough. If he tries to push this up and over, go ahead, do it, I'll let you. And then just travel with it, right? Or push it all the way across. You can strike him over here. And there's really people out there going, that ain't gonna work on me, I can break that. Well, you might can. But it is what it is. Right? So again, kick, strike, scoop, then. So if we review these right quick, so the first one was cut, a front cut. So here, kick, a strike, and a pulled,